What's up, you guys? Good morning, good evening, whatever applies to you. Hope you are staying safe. And today, it's a little bit of a discipline kind of situation going on. It's a little bit of a concept that we are talking about today, which is how to separate thought and action to prevent a relapse. A relapse is essentially when you just build up your lifestyle around the recovery of addiction and then just flopped it all, right? So today I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a tool to your toolbox in order to tackle your relapse, in order to prevent your relapse, really. So under that main question, we are going to be talking about three sub questions. One, why is this important? Two, how to practice the separation, and three, what should be the assessment process for thoughts? The third question will make sense when I get to that part in the video in a second. So don't worry about that for now. So first things first, why is this important? You gotta know why is this important first and foremost. Remember that time when you were really stressed out or really bored or really depressed or something like that, and you thought it would be a great idea to just watch some porn and just masturbate to it just so you can boost your mood up. How long did that high last? Maybe a couple of minutes. That is exactly why we need to separate our thoughts from manifestation in order to filter out the bad thoughts, the unproductive thoughts, the dark thoughts, and just manifest the good ones. So in a second, I'm going to talk about the separation and how to do that and all sorts of stuff like that. But for now, that is the importance of having that separation, having this separation of thought and action, just so you will manifest good thoughts only in your behavior. The second part, how to practice the separation. So this is a little bit of a tricky question, tricky scenario to deal with, right? In order to practice that separation, you're going to have a daily schedule on that. You're going to have a time that you allocate to this specific task daily in order to achieve that, in order to practice that, right? Be it 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, an hour, 2 hours a day, the bigger the time is, the better. The only condition is that you're going to have to do it daily and consistently. So then, whatever the time that you are allocating towards this, whatever the time that you took out of your day to practice this, all you're going to do is just sit with your thoughts and just look at them, right? Just try to look at your thoughts and just assess them. Is this a good thought? Is this a bad thought? Is this productive? Is this not productive? That kind of things. Just look at your thoughts and try to assess as many of them as possible. If you are capable of doing that, then it will help you to understand the third part of the equation a lot better, right? So this beautifully leads me to the third part of the equation. Then we move on to the third part of the equation, right? What should be the assessment process for thoughts? You're going to have some assessment process in order to determine whether it's good or bad, right? So in this part, I'm going to have to wipe this whole board off and then draw a chart that makes absolutely no sense and make it make sense, right? I'm going to do that off camera just for the time efficiency's sake. So we are back after that whole time efficiency thing with a chart that makes absolutely no sense, like I promised. So here we have a question: is it beneficial for me? Right? And then this is another question: is it beneficial for others? Right? So in this stage, we are asking ourselves these two questions, and if we get one yes, that's all we need. That's all we need, right? If we get one yes in this stage, then it goes past that stage. It gets qualified in that stage, and in the second stage, we have another question, and that is this a detriment for the ones that don't benefit, right? So, if we get at least 1 year in this scenario, and then if we come to this and we get a no in this scenario, then and only then you should be manifesting this in behavior. So here's the thing. What if we get 2 yeses for this stage, for the first stage? What if we get a yes for it being beneficial for you as well as beneficial for the others, right? So in this case, others, in this specific case that I mentioned, others is a kind of a vague term, not really defined. So in that case, you're going to have to kind of ask yourself this question anyway, right? If it's benefiting both these parties, and if it's not putting a single soul at detriment, then you are golden. You are good to go. That's the kind of action that you should do. But here's a little bit of an inconvenience in this theory, right? There's a bunch of questions. There's a bunch of logic gates, so to speak, in this. So let me simplify this, like in the simplest form I possibly can. If your action at least benefit a soul, benefit at least one soul, and doesn't put anyone at detriment, that's the only type of behavior you should be manifesting, you should be putting into practice, right? Before we wrap this whole thing up, right? There's a scenario that you might think that I might have missed, right? The scenario of both of these questions getting no's, right? Let's say this question got a no and this got a no. So it's not beneficial for either parties, right? Either party, it's not beneficial. And this question also got a no, right? So it's not detrimental either. So it's not beneficial, it's not detrimental. So in theory, you can put that into practice, right? In theory, the keyword is in theory, right? So here's the issue I see in putting those sorts of thoughts into action, right? When you are doing that, you are kind of wasting away your energy, wasting away your time that you otherwise could have diverted towards something really productive, something that can serve someone and that doesn't put anyone at detriment, right? So that is something that you should be looking out for as well when you do these kind of scenarios, these kind of exercises. When you practice these kind of things, that is obviously something that you should be looking out for. Start practicing these things daily. Start practicing what I talked about daily. And the more you practice it, the more frequently you practice it, the more time you dedicate into it on a weekly basis, the lesser likelihood you'd have to fall into the trap of a relapse. That's all I got for you today. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Until next time, I'm Harival. May the Triple Team bless you.